Welcome back. We're on air for another episode on the Windsor Wednesday show. Happy Windsor Wednesday, and thanks for being here. Now, the Office of Student Experience has known that students are going through a variety of different things in the last couple of months while we're learning online. So UWSA, the Student Center, and the Office of Student Experience have teamed up to provide 400 students with free holiday boxes. So all you have to do is visit the Office of Student Experience social media pages to register for your box today. These holiday care boxes are jam-packed with hand-picked items from local businesses found right here within our YQG community. UWindsor swag, wellness resources, and yes, yummy snacks. So a big thank you to our sponsors, UWindsor alumni, Opus, GSS, and Lancer Rec for their amazing generosity in making this giveaway possible. So definitely check out Office of Student Experience social media pages to register. And to kick off today's show, I want to do a brief introduction of our guests. We have Rebecca Burkoski. Rebecca is in her new role as a transition and retention program support and educator. She's housed in the Office of Student Success and Leadership. And Rebecca is also a recent graduate. So thanks for being here, Rebecca. Priyanka Phillip. Priyanka is the manager of quality improvement programs at Windsor Regional Hospital. She completed her MBA and also graduated with a biotechnology-biochemistry degree. Down below, we have Eman El-Masri. She's a fourth-year electrical engineering student, minoring in mathematics, also a member of Outstanding Scholars and many other University of Windsor clubs. So thanks for being here, everyone. Glad to have you on the show. To kick things off, we'll start with you, Priyanka. I'm very curious to know, why did you start an MBA directly after completing an undergraduate degree in science?
So my science degree, when I completed the biochemistry, biotechnology degree after 4 years, I was at a bit of a crossroads. I had acquired a very specific set of skills from the undergrad degree, very analytical, very, very different sort of science skills. And I needed to acquire a different array of skills to sort of have that more rounded, well-rounded set of skills to be able to open up my doors to a larger job market. And so at that crossroads, I knew that I didn't want to go into science research per se. So I looked into a couple of different options. A friend had talked to me about the ODET MBA program. It was the pilot of the 13-month program that they launched in 2008. So I set up a meeting and went and met with Dr. Dave Bussier, who was the program director at the time. And I'm not sure if any of you have met him, but he's a very passionate, very excited individual. In my brief meeting with him, he ignited a passion and excitement for the MBA program for me. And I knew that it would open up my doors to acquiring those leadership skills, interpersonal skills, foundational accounting and finance skills that you sort of need in order to have a more well-rounded experience in order to be able to get into the job market. So that was sort of my push. It was Dr. Bussier and that meeting with him that sparked the interest and the passion to do it. And then knowing that it would help me balance out what I had gained through my undergrad and just be able to round me up a little bit better.
So Priyanka, you mentioned the skills that you received in your MBA. What types of skills did you receive in your undergraduate degree in science?
So the undergraduate degree was, not that the MBA didn't, but it was very specific in terms of the analytics, the details. I had the biochemistry, biotechnology was full of labs. So it was very hands-on in that regard. My physics and organic chemistry and inorganic chemistry, a lot of analytical classes that required me to develop some of those more detail-oriented skills. So I always like to say it developed the analytical side of my brain, and then I needed to be able to use that and develop the other side of the skills that would enable me to talk in public and be able to have those interpersonal dynamics and have more leadership based skills to acquire as well, which I knew the MBA would do a great job of bringing that to the forefront.
Excellent. It's a very, very good concept that you have both skill sets with you, and I imagine you're using both of them in your role today.
Very much so.
That's great. Thanks so much for sharing that. So Eman, you're currently an outstanding scholar, and we've had outstanding scholar students on the show in the past, but each of them have their different area of research. What are you currently researching?
Yeah, first off, I want to thank you so much for having me on the show today. And to answer that question, so I'm a member of Dr. Umadi's eMinds lab. So eMind stands for Electrical Micro Nano Devices and Sensors. So what my research is I focus on electronic nose devices, specifically to target analytes and agricultural greenhouses. So basically, you want to provide plants with the optimal growing environment. The really cool thing about my research is that electronic noses have such a wide variety of applications. So we can actually use electronic noses, and we're studying it currently for medical devices and sensors as well. So detecting the volatile organic compounds from one's breath to see if, detect early signs of diseases such as cancers and other illnesses. So the day-to-day of what I'm doing as an undergraduate in my research is, when we were on campus, I was conducting tests and fabricating sensors. But now that we've moved remotely and we're all working remotely from home, I'm doing more console simulations to analyze our designs. And it's really such a rewarding experience because I've been working with my incredible research team on a variety of different publications. And just yesterday, actually, I got the confirmation that my book chapter that I was working on was accepted for publication. So it's such a rewarding experience for like an undergraduate to have this opportunity. So I'm so grateful for it. And it really helped me expand my skills and learn and make a lot of new valuable connections. And so I just want to put it out there, like I really encourage students, you don't have to be an outstanding scholar to do research. If you just have a strong passion in the research field that you want to do, please reach out to your professors and let them know, because the amount of skills and what I've really grown from my research, and I highly recommend that to other students. And why this is of interest to me is in high school, I really loved biology and chemistry, but I felt as though I was more stronger in the maths and the physics. So this research is perfect for me because I'm combining both my strengths and my interests together to really do research for the benefit of others.
And Eman, how did you make that connection with your professor that you're working with?
So Dr. Imadi, she's actually was my professor. So the first day of class, she kind of gave us like a little overview of her research. And as soon as I saw like biomedical devices and sensors, right away that like hit the nail for me. I'm like, okay, this is something I'm really passionate about and I want to do. And I reached out to her, and with open arms, she accepted me onto her team.
Was it nerve-wracking at first? Were you like, how do you approach that? Maybe some advice for students that are maybe a bit on the fence of how to reach out to their professor to conduct research or doing any other type of assignment.
Well, I just want to point out that professors are human at the end of the day, and I honestly feel like if you put in the hard work, they will go the extra mile to help and support you. And Dr. Imadi has really done that for me. And not only has she been an incredible supervisor for me as well, but she's really been that support and that mentor for me in my undergraduate experience. So I'm so grateful for it. So just don't be afraid and reach out to professors, because you'll be surprised at how excited they would be to be that mentor for you so that you can make that next step in your career.
That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that advice, Eman. And those watching, definitely check out the Outstanding Scholars Program. I appreciate that. Rebecca, welcome to the show. As a student, a recent graduate, what was your most memorable moment at the University of Windsor?
So probably Welcome Week would be my most memorable moment. And I'm not even just talking about one Welcome Week, but all of them, because after I finished my student experience of the Welcome Week events, I was super into it. I was really excited, and I got the opportunity to work as the Welcome Week event planner. And that was awesome. I loved that so much. And since then, I've stuck around. I've been in the Student Success and Leadership Center since like my second year. So both planning the events and attending the events has been really fun. And I'm going to shout out Hassan if he's watching. He knows that one of our best parts of Welcome Week was getting everyone to dance to Hey Baby. If you've been to Welcome Week, you've heard that song about 100 times. And even you'd think it would get like repetitive or you get tired of it, but you just don't. It was so much fun. So thanks, Hassan, for making that happen.
What would you say from all the planning that you've done for Welcome Week, what has been the most challenging for you, and how did you overcome that type of challenge?
Probably River Games. River Games is our biggest event that we have. I think we saw over 1,000 students the first year that I planned it. So of course, that's a huge number of people to be keeping track of. That was really challenging. But to overcome it, really, I just got close with my team, and I knew that we could rely on each other. So if I needed someone to run and do something last minute, I know I can ask someone to do that, and they will. And we also had great supervision as well. So our boss Amber was always there for us, and we didn't really feel nervous to come forward with anything that we found challenging because we knew it would just make us stronger as a team.
That's terrific, and I'm glad that you've stuck with that organization and that initiative at the University of Windsor and had such a positive impact on you. Thanks so much, Rebecca. So Priyanka, you're in healthcare management at the Windsor Regional Hospital. What really sparked that interest going into that role?
So I always knew I would. I always knew I wanted to be in healthcare. I come from a family of healthcare professionals. Always had an interest in the sciences. So I always knew that's where I wanted to be. It was actually through my MBA I got a glimpse into that world through some of my work with Dr. Ann Snowden. So to Eman's point, I think the important part is when you do come across something that you're passionate about, something that sparks your interest, go for it, because that's what will get you to your future career. So I got a little bit of a glimpse into the world of healthcare, working on some projects with Dr. Snowden. And then through the network that I had built with our professors and some of the research that I'd undertaken within the MBA program as well, it opened up a whole host of different people that I had connected with and talked to in different industries, and got a chance to actually meet with an individual from Windsor Regional Hospital who talked me through a different, the different types of roles that I could be a part of with my background. So I actually started with Windsor Regional Hospital as a decision support analyst. So what that means is looking at the data, the trends, and the performance in different departments and programs to help inform next steps and decision making for the senior leadership team. So essentially took my data, analytical, technical skills that I had and applied those. And then over the past 9 years with Windsor Regional Hospital, I grew into the role of a program director or a program coordinator that allowed me to sort of use some of the stuff that I had learned as decision support and be able to grow programs. And then more recently in my role as manager of quality improvement programs, which allowed me to work with a few different hospitals across our region as well. And then I recently accepted a position with Erie Shores Healthcare as their director of outpatient services. So just being able to parlay one experience into another just solidified that this is where I want to be in terms of a career. So it sort of stemmed from a personal background, and then thanks to some of our professors and phenomenal experiences that I gained at the university, it helped solidify that and allowed me to go and explore that a little bit further and figure out that that's where the future is.
So you mentioned being at the hospital now for 9 years. Did you ever think that having to lead a team during a pandemic?
I would never have imagined that. I don't think anybody really did. But I have to say it was probably one of the most I don't even know what the word is that I'm looking for. I don't think that experience will ever be matched. The way that our teams came together and worked together to work right from the beginning. It was developing different policies. It was developing different practices, different processes. It was an incredible experience. And it all sort of came to fruition just before I was heading off on maternity leave. So I was very, very lucky to have been a part of the team before everything got completely crazy, or at least be able to help set things up there. And then I went off on maternity leave.
Yes, it's definitely been a learning experience for us all.
Yeah.
And you being in the healthcare sector, it's been hit, probably the hardest, that and education. So kudos to you and your team for powering through it and continuing to work and have the industry move forward. So I appreciate that, Priyanka.
Thank you.
So Eman, what's something that you wish you knew before you entered the engineering program, and how can this be helpful to incoming engineering students?
One thing I wish I knew, and it's just, honestly, it's okay to not know what kind of engineering you want to do. So coming out of high school, I was so stressed because the University of Windsor offers so many wonderful programs. So they offer electrical engineering, mechanical, civil, environmental. There's just so many options. And for me, everyone in my family, they're all healthcare professionals. So I'm going to be the first one ever to pursue an engineering degree. So I really had no idea what to expect. So entering first year, I was so blindsided, but I didn't know this, but first year of engineering is very general for everyone. So everyone takes the same classes. So that's a great way to make new friends and grow your connections that way. And it really just exposes you to different concepts of engineering that you can decide if this is of interest to you to pursue that field. So it wasn't until the end of my first year that I decided that I actually liked the electrical concepts, and I decided to undergo an electrical engineering program. But again, like I didn't know that entering first year. So it gives you time to really explore your interests, and you don't have to stress if you're not sure where you want to end up at right from the beginning. And another thing is the University of Windsor offers so many programs and like clubs and resources for students that a lot of students aren't really aware of. So just to list a few, you have the Women in Engineering Club, which is a great way to network with other women in engineering. And you have the Arduino Club and the Epicenter and the UWindsor, which offers like workshops for students to really get that technical skills in there. But one thing in particular that I really want to point out is that the University of Windsor actually offers, within their Win1 first year office, they offer free tutoring for first and second year students. So I'm actually a tutor there myself. So I've been tutoring there for the past couple semesters now. And now that's remote from home, we're using the Blackboard page. So you can just drop in during a tutor's session and ask them for assistance in their course, or it doesn't even have to be within the course material. You can ask them just general engineering questions, you know, I'm considering this course, have you taken it? Like, what would you suggest? Any advice? Things like that, just to really help other students. So for sure, look into the clubs and the resources available to you and take advantage of them is something that I would suggest.
And would you recommend that students follow exactly what you just said to really figure out what type of specialization they're looking into?
So again, because we're all taking the same courses, it kind of exposes you, the classes will expose you to a little bit of each. So really, one of them will spark your interest a little more than the other. And if not, again, taking advantage of those extra clubs and resources to really dive deeper to see, is this something that I really want? And also, I would suggest for students to participate in the co-op program, because then you can actually get hands-on experience within that discipline to see if this is something that you like. And it's totally okay if you're in, for example, like a mechanical engineering program, and then after second year decide, you know what, this is not really for me, I'm considering electrical. My best friend did that. And most of the courses actually transfer through. So it's not like a deal breaker if you decide that you want to go through a different path.
Definitely great advice, and it can be so, just like you said, it is challenging to figure out what type of career path you want to go into, and specialization, especially for myself being in the business program, there are so many avenues, right? And you have to, like you just said, do opportunities that will lead you in the right direction. So thanks so much for sharing that, Eman. And Rebecca, we touched a bit on your experience with Welcome Week, but I do want to talk about your role. If you could just let us know exactly what your role is and what you do specifically at the University of Windsor.
Sure. So right now I am running the Bounce Back program, and basically that program is for students who didn't maybe do as well as they wanted to in a semester, and they need some additional support to get to where they want to be. So we use holistic methods to teach different study tips and wellness tips as well to help them improve their grades, but also improve their overall well-being.
That's fantastic. And what types of services do you offer for those students?
So if they sign up for Bounce Back, we meet over the course of 4 weeks in the accelerated program, and we meet twice a week to go through different content through the form of like presentations, just like you're seeing now, to learn about different ways that they can improve their study habits, that they can feel more comfortable test taking, learn about virtual learning, the supports we offer, and all that great stuff.
That's amazing. And I know you mentioned your role, the title switched. But before, if you could remind the audience, what was your title before and what is it now?
My title before, I had to do with student orientation support, and that was basically working on Head Start and Welcome Week, as well as a little bit with our winter orientation and working with lead students now. And my current title is super long, and it is Transition and Retention Support Program Evaluator.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. And thanks for continuing your career at the University of Windsor. I appreciate those comments, Rebecca.
Thank you.
And to go into our next question, we ask this on the end of every show, is why are you UWinProud? We'll start with you, Priyanka.
So this is going to probably sound very cliche, but about 16 years ago now, I came to Canada and to Windsor specifically in the University of Windsor as an international student with 2 suitcases, 1 in each arm and an open mind, and thought, let's see where this is going to take me. 16 years later, where I am professionally, personally, who I am is in largely due to University of Windsor. From my best friends that I met in undergrad, to my husband that I met in the MBA program, to the professional and personal networks that I built through both my undergrad and graduate degrees. They've been invaluable in getting me to where I am in my career, but then also my community involvement as well. I don't know what more I could say other than who I am is very largely due to the University of Windsor. So I am very proud of where the university's brought me and the big role it's played in my life. And my husband is a University of Windsor alumnus as well from the law program. And so for both of us, we're a University of Windsor household, and proud as can be.
And I have to ask this, did you meet at the University of Windsor?
We did. We actually met in our MBA program.
I should really start a checklist on the show, because there's been so many people that have met their significant other at the University of Windsor. So it's not just building relationships in the community, it's building loving relationships. So thanks so much for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Eman, how would you say you're UWinProud being a student at the University of Windsor?
There's so many reasons to be proud, so I can't give you one reason why I'm proud to identify as a Lancer today. But when it comes down to it, I look where I am right now and where it was when I first started university, and I feel like I've grown so much as an individual, and it really comes down to the community, and I really have to thank my peers and my staff for that. They've been a tremendous support, and they've really helped me all throughout the way. And also, I feel that the University of Windsor really invests in their students, and if you voice your opinion, it really tends to get heard. So just for giving an example for that, my peer and I, we decided, it would be great if the University of Windsor had a milling machine for students to really get more hands-on experience. So we brought that opinion up to the engineering student fund committee, and they were all for it. They're like, you know what, if you feel like this is great for students, then here's around $30,000, go for it. If this is something that you think you need, then we're all for it. So they really, really invest in their students, and I'm so proud to be a Lancer, because I can, from what I've seen in my achievements, it really has to be because of the University of Windsor.
That's amazing, and I'm glad that you were able to. You talked about being in your first year into now, and that growth that you've experienced. I'm glad it happened at the University of Windsor for you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. And Rebecca, having both a lens of a student and now a staff member at the University of Windsor, how would you say you're proud?
I'm proud of so much at the University of Windsor. Really, to echo what Eman said, we kind of had similar answers. My personal growth has been off the charts since I've been at the university. So I came into university a really shy person who wouldn't speak in class. I didn't make friends unless I already knew them from high school. And now I am talking to different deans. I'm reaching out to people in our community, and I just feel like the support is endless, both inside and outside of the university. But I really wouldn't have got that confidence if I wasn't offered the opportunities that I've been able to take on. So I really do have to thank the university for who I am as a person.
That's amazing. Thanks so much, Rebecca, for sharing that point and the growth that you've experienced as well, just like Eman and Priyanka has. And I before we wrap up this conversation today, I do want to mention this is our last Windsor Wednesday show before we do head into the holiday season. I do want to say a huge thank you to the guests that joined us on the show, and each of you for being here today and taking time, and those watching, tuning in this Wednesday. But we'll see you in the new year. I wish everyone a happy holidays and an even better 2021. 2020 has been a challenge for all of us, so I'm wishing everyone nothing but success. So thanks so much for being here today, and we'll see you in the new year.